Hey, what's up, nerds? It is Paul at Radio Free Hammer Hall, and today I am sharing something momentous. This is, at long last, my completed Maggitkin of Nurgle collection. This is every single model currently in production by Games Workshop in the Maggitkin range, as well as a couple of things that are discontinued and a couple of conversions, like this guy here was a Harbinger of Decay. And then over here I have the old metal Rotbringer Sorcerer model. Now, you're probably noticing this collection is pretty big. It is currently totaling 13,560 points. And out of that, every single point is painted and based, ready to go. Even got that sexy black rim down on the bottom of the bases. So I just thought this would just be a cool thing to share with all of you. So let's just quickly go through what we've got in here. You know, it's kind of, it doesn't really make sense to list off every single hero that we have in here, every single model. Let's just take a quick look at the more massive groups of things that are included in here. So, we have, back here, we'll start with 3 Feculent Gnarlmaws. Zooming out a little bit, we have 50 Putrid Blight Kings, 10 Pusquell Blight Lords, 12 Plague Drones, 30 Rotmire Creed, and then we go up here, we've got 6 Plague Bearer model, or I'm sorry, not Plague Bearers, Nurgling bases. We've got 120 Plague Bearers. It's an awful lot of Plague Bearers. And then 8 Beasts of Nurgle. In addition, we've got a melee build of the Great Unclean One, Rotigus, and the support build Great Unclean One. Now, I would just like to point out, my collection is not just the kits, it's every build of all of the kits. So we have all 3 Maggoth Lords hanging out over here. We also have 2 different Sloppity Bile Pipers and 2 Spoilpox Scriveners. There are 2 Rotbringer Sorcerers in here somewhere. The new sculpt. We've got that new Harbinger of Decay coming soon, so I'm going to have to grab that as well. This army has been a labor of love for a very, very long time. This started right around when the first Maggitkin of Nurgle book was released. It has evolved and grown considerably since then. It is, as you could tell, it is definitely my favorite army in Age of Sigmar. Some of these paint jobs are a whole lot better than others. You know, if we compare, say, my Glotkin or the various Maggoth Lords, a whole lot more love went into those than, say, your average Plague Bearer. But all of this was certainly a lot of fun to paint. And at this point, as far as the current Maggitkin range, I don't really see any need to be picking up any more of this stuff. I literally have everything. And as far as units, I have them in ridiculous quantities that I will never use. So, That is not going to be where we are going to be expanding right now. But where else can we expand? Well, that's going to move over to this next shelf over here where we have a bunch of Pestigore. What are those guys doing here? Well, they're cool old Nurgle models from the former Beastmen range. I think they may have been in Warriors of Chaos at some point. Not sure. Actually have 10 more of these guys on the way, including the command set. So I'll have 20 of them, and those will be super cool. They're going to be using those for narrative purposes. Like, they'll be counting it as Bestigor, but using the Pestigore models. In addition to that, well, I've got this other model over here. It's not from a Games Workshop range, but he's going to be counting as a Beast Lord. And then we've got Skaven stuff. Of course, we've got this Vermin Lord Deceiver and a whole bunch of Plague Sensor Bearers right here. And in addition to that, there are a couple of Plague Priests and 80 Plague Monks that are still currently all based in my Skaven paint scheme, but I am going to be I'm going to be at least like changing the bases over to be in my Maggitkin theme. In addition to all of this nonsense, we also have all of my Nurgle marked Slaves to Darkness. Now, this particular part of the collection, not yet all completely painted or even constructed. And you'll probably notice looking closely here that there are a number of things that are broken that need to get fixed. I also have a whole bunch of other models that are just currently sitting over here in my carrying case that have not been put away. And then over here, got a few things still on my painting table that are works in process. And of course, the guy that I'm really just kind of working on his base at this point, Archaon, who is converted to have 3 Nurgle heads on Dorgar. Really like how this guy came out. And then the man himself down here. You know, I'm not obviously taking like good video or pictures of all of this stuff right now. I'm just kind of going through and just kind of sharing and talking about what I've got. In addition, in here, we'll see real quick if I can actually spot the models. I am not sure they are actually hanging out in here at the moment, but I have also started collecting some old Nurgle-themed models from the old Slaves to Darkness, or not Slaves to Darkness, Chaos Warrior range. At least like the cool ones. I've got a couple of those guys painted up. A couple of more in process that still need to be finished. But really, like, we're just working on collecting all of this stuff. Right now, Slaves to Darkness is really the army that I've been playing with recently. You know, despite having all this insane amount of Maggitkin, I have been playing it an awful lot for a while now, and I thought it was time to at least make a little bit of a change. I really, really like the Slaves to Darkness book a lot, so I've been toying around and experimenting with that quite a bit. I just realized that I have 2 models over here that they belong in my work in process section. They need new bases, or completed bases, and probably some painting touch-ups. So, you know, a story that I have probably told before about my Slaves to Darkness is that this all started as an extension of my Maggitkin army that, you know, was back when We didn't have the coalition rules, and the keyword for the Maggotkin army was just Nurgle. So if you took, say, Nurgle marked Chaos Warriors, which, by the way, all of these guys are converted with Nurgle bits, mostly from Blight Kings. All of my Varengard also converted with Blight King and Blight Lord bits. So are my Chaos Knights. Pretty much almost everything in this army is converted in one way or another. I actually really like how my Chosen came out. These guys still need some finishing touches, but just as an example, for Nurgle Chosen, how those came out, really very cool, I think. I think they'll look really nice. My paint jobs are not the greatest in the universe, but it's serviceable and it looks cool, looks good enough on tabletop. So that is where we are at. Also wanted to give a quick shout out to my buddy Maroc Wolf, who did a whole bunch of casting of bits for me so I could actually make all of these Varengard happen, because that is an insane number of bits to try and acquire. I do have some repairs that need to be done on these, like a whole bunch of the Varengard, like these guys, like their blades on their weapons broke off and they need their bases done. There's guy over here missing a head on his horse somehow, which I cannot for the life of me find. But otherwise, all of this, just cool and fun. I am really enjoying it. I have some plans of doing some cool narrative stuff with all of this. And my bestest buddy, my dude, is not up here. And I'm actually not sure off the top of my head where he is living at the moment, because I recently redid all of my storage for all of my Warhammer stuff, and I'm not sure where it went. But my narrative hero, Kusas, who I should really do a video on at some point, he's not over here anyway. I'm not sure where he went. But the point being that he began as a little nurgling, and over the course of multiple narrative events and campaigns and all of that stuff, he has worked his way up and gotten in Nurgle's good graces, and is working his way up to being a great unclean one. So, more on him eventually. It's actually a little unnerving that I don't know where he is. He's around somewhere, and I will have to find him, because that's kind of important, because I'm going to be needing him for narrative events and stuff. Oh, wait, you know what? I know where he is. He's in my case. He's also just kind of hanging out with my armies when I go to events as, like, my mascot now, I guess. So yeah, guys, I don't even really know what else to say. Just kind of an army showcase, sharing what I've got going on. I don't know if I have the biggest Maggotkin collection out there, but I mean, out of all of this stuff, I don't know how many people out there have every model in the range, and a bunch of old stuff, and just the sheer quantity of points that I have all in like that combination. It would be cool if I had like the biggest, baddest Maggotkin collection that was all painted up. I don't know if that's the case. Would be cool. I'm not going to keep buying more shit just to satisfy that desire of having the biggest and the best. But certain things are going to keep on expanding. I think I do need some Nurgling swarms, but I think those are going to be just grabbing bases and a bunch of random Nurglings and throwing them on bases to make some cool little quasi-converted stuff. Some other things need a little bit of love in here, like some of the bases are kind of crappy, need a little bit more stuff going on them. Um, so, just worth a mention here. The whole kind of narrative point of this army that goes along like with the basing is that this is the force just at that beginning of the invasion of Gairan in like the Age of Chaos. So they all have these nice green bases with little tufts of flowers here and there. And they're all just working on moving in and corrupting the landscape and fucking that stupid bitch Alariel. Fuck her and her dumb ass knife ears. So, that's the general concept. I'll do a video on my dude Kusas at some point. I don't know. Whenever. Hell, could be tomorrow. I don't really know. Who knows what I feel like doing. So yeah. This is what we got. And let's take a quick run over. We're at the end of the video here. And nobody's probably watching anymore. So whatever. We got all of these plague monks. Holy shit, plague monks. That's a lot of them. There's 80 of them. And there's a couple more over here that are like busted off their bases and stuff. I need to, I haven't touched my Skaven in a long time, so I had 2 Screaming Bells. But, it's pretty easy to saw one of those guys off and put the plague sensor back on there to make it a plague furnace. Do I have any other Clan Pestilence stuff over here? I don't think so. I still don't have any Plague Claw catapults, and that is because the scroll is and always has been terrible, and I am not wasting money, time, resources into that until they decide to give us something that isn't shit. But yeah, that's what we got, guys. It's party time. I'm calling my Maggitkin force complete for now. And I'm going to call it here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you all later.